This is a Federal News Network podcast.
Coming up on today's Federal Newscast, now that the Pentagon isn't giving money out to the Afghan government, it's trying to figure out what to use those funds on. A proposal in the House would set some dollars aside for defense contractors should there be another pandemic-like event. And DHS contractors are going to need to adhere to the government's COVID protocol should they be working on site. These stories and more in today's Federal Newscast. Welcome to today's episode of the Federal Newscast. I'm Eric White. The Pentagon is determining what it should do with billions intended for the Afghan armed forces. Congress appropriated over $3 billion for the Afghan Security Forces Fund in fiscal 2021, but with the rapid collapse of Afghanistan to the Taliban, Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby says any remaining funds are on hold. DoD is now working closely with Congress to determine what to do with the money. Lawmakers will also have to consider what to do with the $3.3 billion DoD had requested for the fund in fiscal year 2022. Meanwhile, the Defense Department is relying on a new tool to continue to dig out of its mound of technical debt. Federal News Network's Jason Miller tells us more.
The Defense Department is revamping its approach to IT portfolio management. Danielle Metz, the Deputy CIO for Information Enterprise, says the new framework will integrate with DoD's business processes.
Our goal is to implement an analytic framework that will provide quality, actionable information to ensure our funding decisions are properly aligned to strategic transformation initiatives.
Metz says the success of closing data centers and moving to the cloud is driving this new approach to IT portfolio management. Jason Miller, Federal News Network.
Those annual budget justifications should get a little clearer thanks to a new bill in the House passed yesterday. The Congressional Budget Justification Transparency Act requires that agencies publish easily understandable versions of their annual budget justification to a single government website. Agencies will also have to post a plain language version to their own sites. The bill cleared the Senate back in June and now heads to President Biden's desk for his signature. It had bipartisan support in both the House and Senate. After COVID-19 shut down businesses across the country last year, new legislation would give defense contractors a backstop in the event of a new crisis. Federal News Network's Justin Doubleday reports.
A bill introduced in the House this week would allow the Defense Department to keep paying contractors when a disaster prevents them from accessing work sites. The proposal from Maryland Democrat Anthony Brown and Virginia Republican Rob Whitman is similar to a provision in the 2020 CARES Act. It let agencies reimburse contractors providing paid leave to employees who couldn't go to work because of pandemic restrictions. But that authority expired earlier this year. The lawmakers say making it permanent will help contractors keep their workforces intact during the next crisis. Justin Doubleday, Federal News Network.
The Homeland Security Department is telling its contractors they must be vaccinated or have a negative test within the last 3 days to work on site. A new notice by DHS Chief Procurement Officer Paul Courtney tells contract employees who are entering DHS facilities controlled by the Federal Protective Service that they must conform to the COVID-19 testing and vaccination policy. DHS says the Guard may request to view a copy of the employee's written attestation on the approved OMB form. Federal employee groups are counting their wins and losses in the bipartisan infrastructure bill. More on that from Federal News Network's Nicola Grisco.
A group representing managers at the IRS has some concerns about the Senate-passed bill. The legislation cancels some COVID relief programs for taxpayers and small businesses by the end of September. And IRS managers are worried about implementing a mid-year tax change on top of the upcoming filing season. The House advanced the infrastructure bill yesterday and is planning a final vote before the end of September. Nicola Grisco, Federal News Network.
Federal appeals court judges are letting the Postal Service proceed with plans to raise prices next week. Federal News Network's Jory Heckman has the details.
The U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit denied a request from mailers to block USPS from raising rates on first-class mail and periodicals until their ongoing lawsuit is settled. Starting Sunday, the price of a first-class stamp will go from 55 to 58 cents. These new prices would effectively max out new rate-setting authority approved by the Postal Regulatory Commission. The court will hear oral arguments as part of the lawsuit on September 13th. Jory Heckman, Federal News Network.
And facial recognition technology is becoming commonplace at most large agencies. The Government Accountability Office found 18 of 24 CFO Act agencies were using facial recognition technology for digital access or cybersecurity purposes, law enforcement, or physical security. The General Services Administration and Social Security Administration told GAO they were running pilots that would allow employees to access government websites like login.gov via facial recognition technology. GAO found 14 agencies authorized employees to unlock their agency-issued smartphones by using it. You can find more information on these stories at federalnewsnetwork.com, search Federal Newscast, and subscribe to the Federal Newscast on Podcast One or Apple Podcasts. I'm Eric White.
Cox can help make your home smarter and your life easier. Now you can use your Contour voice remote to connect to your home life cameras so you can view them right on your TV screen using simple voice commands. That makes it easy to keep tabs on what's happening around your home right from your couch. Need to keep an eye on the kids when they're playing outside? Just say, "Show me my backyard camera" into your Cox voice remote and watch them while you're in the house. And if you're waiting for a delivery and want to make sure it's there on time, no problem. Just say, "Show me driveway camera" to check on it with your Home Life HD cameras on the TV screen while you go about your day. When you live in a home powered by Cox Internet, you can stay connected to what matters and let Cox take care of the rest. To learn more about all the benefits of your connected home, visit cox.com/thisishome today.